Hello, legends. Welcome back to the Gaming Coffee Club, episode number 8. If you're new here, this is your chilled weekly gaming chat to enjoy over a nice coffee. So, grab your mug and pour your favourite coffee because the gaming world has gone mad once again. A sealed copy of a game you can download for free just sold for a fortune. Yes, it will seriously blow your mind. Sony quietly pushed a stealth update to the PlayStation Portal. PlayStation Portal prices are plummeting right now. New PS Plus games have been revealed. RAM prices are exploding. And honestly, that's only half the stories we've got for today. And because it's Black Friday week and it's Cyber Monday, we've just dropped the Midnight Edition Gaming Coffee Club mug, a sleek, stealthy black version, live now at a special Black Friday week price for this week only. So grab it while it lasts, because on December the 8th, the prices will be going up. Now let's jump into our first wild news story. Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is real and actually happened. Someone just spent $42,500 on a sealed copy of Fortnite. Yes, you are hearing and reading this right. If someone had spent $500 on a sealed copy of Fortnite, I would have thought that was crazy. But $42,500? What? You could buy a really good sports car for that price? Wow, okay. So this caught my eye the other day and I thought I want to open the podcast with this. Just a fun, interesting, wacky story to get the juices flowing, sorry. And I didn't think this was real at first, but it actually is. So we're over on The Gamer, and it says here, as reported by Dexerto, that's how much an original $60 copy of the game graded Perfect WATA 10A Plus was. So that was this 42,500 one. And this copy of Fortnite holds the highest grade among all variants on WATA's September 2025 population report, the description reads. While known as a digital release, Fortnite also received a relatively limited physical edition that initially flew under the radar. So if you've got a copy of Fortnite from when it launched physical, collecting dust in the back of a cupboard somewhere, dig it out. It might be worth some decent cash. So this is just a wild figure. I cannot believe this. However, previously, someone had paid $13,750. That was the most anyone had paid before this new order came in and just blew it out of the water. So 42,500 eclipses the previous record of 13,750. But some of the highest sales are still unfathomable for what is now one of the least popular modes in a free-to-play game. So if you're wondering what that least popular mode is, that's the whole Fortnite Save the World, I'm pretty sure it was called, wasn't it? And to give you a further idea of the crazy prices that these physical copies of Fortnite have been selling for, we've got these previous sales listed here. So on the 23rd of August 2025, a copy sold for $1,875. I still think that's crazy. That's so much money for a free-to-play game. November 23rd, 2024, 13,750. That was the one we mentioned earlier. September the 5th, 2024, $2,500. March the 12th, 2024, $1,560. And June the 27th, 2023, $1,680. The article goes on to note here that you'll find similar prices on eBay with rare unopened copies listed for as much as $10,000, but none of these have sold yet. These people will just keep these listed up there forever, and it just takes one person with money to burn to buy that, and you are 10 G's richer. Wow. The highest anyone has paid as of writing is $750 for an unopened copy, which included an unused Founders Deluxe code. Trailing behind are 3 copies that sold for $600 to $650 and 2 for $250, with most selling in the $100 range. Wow. Evidently, if you want to make a fortune selling rare Fortnite physical copies, the Heritage auction is the way to go. And I noticed one thing I skipped over, that they've also noted here the copy sold also featured a Storm Master weapon pack sticker on the cover, which we can kind of see here in the hero image at the top of the article. I assume that's super rare. You maybe can only get that via this edition of the game. But $42,500 for a copy of Fortnite? Whoa. People, that is crazy. Would you ever spend like anything close to that amount of money for any game? Like, even if you could, even if you had that sort of money? Oh, I don't know. This must be some serious heavy duty Fortnite collector who probably has like every single skin in the game, every cosmetic, has hundreds of thousands of V-Bucks on their account, and is just collecting everything. So they probably have all the physical copies of the games, and then this super rare AAA graded version. Absolutely mind-boggling stuff. Makes you think though. Definitely check the back of your cupboard or your storage where you've got all your old Xbox One games, or I assume there's a PS4 copy of this as well. If you can dig it out, it might earn you a little bit of money, which, you know, is pretty good. Fire it on eBay or contact these Heritage Foundation auctions people, whoever they are, because this is an awful lot of money. If you get even like a couple of $100 for a copy of a game, which you're actually probably not going to play because it's free to play, you just download the game anyway, why not cash it in? I would. Would you sell a copy of Fortnite if you had a physical copy? Let me know in the comments. Now, there's never been a better time than right now to jump into the world of PlayStation Portal if you're interested in it. As Kotaku is reporting, forget Nintendo, Sony goes no margin on the PlayStation Portal remote player as it hits an all-time low after Black Friday. Now, if you are interested in picking one of these up, I will leave direct links down below in the description, which also helps support the channel at no extra cost to yourself. So thank you if you use these links to pick up the Portal or anything else. However, save 11% on the PlayStation Portal remote player over on Amazon. So I'll leave Amazon links down below for all of you beautiful people all over the world to go and get one in your region. This is a really good price for the new, I say new PlayStation Portal. I basically mean because of the new update, it is like a new device. So the 11% saving equates to the handheld system dropping from $200 to just $179. It's the same in the UK, it's £179. I know you could probably get one cheaper if you look on eBay, for example, or some second-hand marketplace. This is probably the best way though, because you will at least then get that full year's warranty with Sony. And the warranty is not the best because it does only last a year. If any of you have been following the channel for a while, I've got a video up on Pure PSX where I basically had an issue with my launch day Portal and it was just out the warranty window. So Sony really aren't interested. They're like, sorry, buy another one. Luckily enough, I'd already ordered the Midnight Edition Portal, which was on the way when my launch day white Portal stick jacked in. So I would recommend doing this, so then you get that peace of mind that if anything goes wrong within the year, Sony will sort it out or replace it for you, which you won't get buying secondhand. Who knows when that person bought their Portal. Really, really good deal. It's a great device now since the latest update because not only can you do the remote play, so play games from your PS5. However, if you're looking to get into the PlayStation ecosystem and you don't own a PlayStation 5, this now is your cheapest entry point. So for $179 or £179, you can get a PlayStation Portal, get a PlayStation Plus premium subscription. That means you can play all the games that are in the cloud gaming catalog. There's a whole bunch on PS Plus, which you can just stream straight from the cloud. And now, since this last update, you can also play any of your PS5 owned games, which are compatible with cloud streaming. And there's a whole bunch of them on there. If you've had PS Plus previously, you've probably claimed some PS5 games, which are up there already. And if not, you can buy games and then stream them straight from the cloud. You just buy them via your mobile phone. A QR code will show up on the portal. Scan your mobile phone, scan the QR code, on the portal with your mobile phone. Buy it on your phone, and then you can stream it on your PlayStation account straight to the cloud. Straight from the cloud. It is really, really a much, much better device than it was at launch. I loved it at launch anyway. However, it's way, way better. So games like Ghost of Tsushima, God of War Ragnarok, you've got the classics catalogue, which is up there with all the OG PS1 games, which have now PS5 versions, even though they're just like emulated PS1 games. There's loads of good stuff up there to play on your PlayStation Portal now. And if you are thinking about, jumping into PlayStation Portal, like I said, this is the best time. Save you a bit of cash, and you still keep that 1 year warranty instead of risking it with, buying second-hand ones, which might have a fault already and someone's just trying to flog it. Or you buy it and then you do have an issue, a couple of months down the line, and you're out of luck because that person already bought it, a year or two ago. So this is the way to go. Definitely, if you're thinking about getting one of these just now for you or for someone as a gift, definitely pick one up new from Amazon using the links down below in the description. And let me know, what is the first game you'd play on your PlayStation Portal? Right now, I'm actually hooked on Balatro. It just gets better and better the more I play it. If you've never played this, it's like an indie card game. It's like poker, but just amped up to the max, up to 10. Like, you use jokers, which have different abilities and stuff like that, and you need to beat certain scores each round. It is fantastic. If you've never tried it, play it. It's my favorite indie game right now. It might be my favorite indie game of all time, or recent history, I would say. It was Vampire Survivors. I think Balatro might be overtaking that. Maybe just because it's new, I'm thinking that. Anyways, check it out. It is an awesome game. And particularly on your Portal, it is fantastic for handheld play. Now, speaking of Black Friday deals, I showed you my current haul so far of the games I'd bought on Black Friday. And another one has arrived. I got a great deal on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is why I always say buy physical games, people. I got this for £25, and it's way cheaper than you can get digitally, even in the sale right now. I think in the sale digitally it's like 36 or 38. So absolute bargain. Always buy a PlayStation 5 with a disc drive. It gives you so many more options. If the game's cheaper digitally, you can buy it that way. Or like on Amazon and all these other big retailers, you can get your hands on amazing games like this for an absolute bargain price. So once I finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is what I'm playing through right now, and I'm playing through that and Balatro just now, that's what I'm just hooked on, I will then get on to this. I don't know what I'm going to play next. I might have a break from Final Fantasy next and go on to Astrobot or on to Space Marine 2. I don't know. What do you think I should play next? Or should I be crazy and play Mind's Eye next? Am I a glutton for punishment? Should I play Mind's Eye next? Sound off, people. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now we're over at PlayStationLifestyle.net, and you may not have realised this, but the Portal got a stealthily update. So this is not all the Portal news done for this week. There's an update 6.0.1 released, and it doesn't fix a known bug. Now, I didn't know about this bug, even though it's a known one, so I wanted to flag it up to you all in case you're experiencing this, or if you have, let us know in the comments. However, we got this new update which launched on November the 20th, and there's apparently an annoying bug which was introduced by the previous patch, which was the 6.0.01, which was the big one, which allowed us to play our own games in our library from the cloud, where the bug causes the handheld to restart when players use the sort function when browsing the PlayStation Plus cloud library. I've not seen that happen on any of my portals yet. I've got all three of them. They all seem to be running fine for me so far. So I've not had that happen yet. I don't know if this is a thing that happens all the time or it's just intermittently. If it does happen, I will update you and let you know. So this new update, it's kind of one of these boring ones where Sony just says, we've improved system software performance and stability. Wowzers. However, it goes on. Depending on the system software version of your PlayStation Portal, you might be asked to download and install multiple updates, Sony added. This is normal behavior and doesn't indicate a problem with your device. After completing these updates, your PlayStation Portal will be able to install future updates with a single download and installation. Has anyone had that happen to them? That has also not happened to me. All three of my portals, when I updated them, it was just the one time. So that's kind of, it's kind of random. I'm curious to know if this has happened to many of you watching or listening. So in other words, we have no idea what this system update does, and we won't know until players notice something new or different. We've seen reports that PlayStation Portal firmware 6.0.1 takes ages to download and install. The updates usually take a little while on the portal, so no, I didn't really notice anything different than usual. So if you experience something similar, don't worry, because it's not just you. The good news is that there are no reports of firmware update bricking devices. So that's a good thing, at least. It won't brick your device if you update it, which is a big worry. You do not want that to happen. Let me know if that has happened with any of you. Have you updated your portal? Noticed anything different, anything new, performance better, worse? Or have you got this random bug where you use the sort function when you are looking through the games on the PS Plus Cloud Library and it causes your portal to restart? Really random. I have no idea what's going on with that, but sound off in the comments if this has happened to you. Our next update comes from the official PlayStation blog, which is that Helldivers 2 is getting the Python Commandos Premium Warbond, which is airdropping on December the 2nd. So not long to wait for this, and it looks freaking amazing. It's got an unbelievable new looking stratagem, which is this minigun. It just looks fantastic. It's on screen right now. If you are watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, and it just gives me Predator vibes. That bit where they're just blazing the minigun into the jungle trying to shoot the Predator. That is what I want to do in Helldivers 2, so I might pick this up. It does look a lot of fun. Also comes with a new combination assault rifle and grenade launcher, chameleon camo pattern, and more. The other thing which looks really cool and is this, it's like a flamethrower drone. Yeah, you can see it on screen right now. It looks amazing. The AX/Flam 75 guard dog hot dog. This drone is equipped with a flamethrower to coat your foes in the fires of freedom before returning to your backpack to refuel. How freaking cool is that? I really like the look of that. It looks amazing, and then you get the usual kind of cosmetics and stuff like that you get with every Warbond. Yeah, Helldivers 2, still a lot of fun. Still probably, I think, the best multiplayer game on PS5. I know a lot of you will think Arc Raiders, but Arc Raiders just really wasn't my jam. I found it really quite slow and boring, and I don't like the whole extraction shooter thing where you get killed and you lose all your loot that you've just spent the whole game collecting and your fancy weapon you've just crafted. So yeah, I like Helldivers where it's PvE versus instead of PvP. Very, very cool. I think this looks a good update. Let me know if you are still playing Helldivers. Will you be picking this up? And I'll see you out there on the battlefield to spread some managed democracy. And more cool game news, we have got Tomb Raider Anniversary is now available on the PlayStation Store. So you may remember we spoke about this game already because it is part of PlayStation Plus Premium. So if you have the premium tier, you can download and play this game as part of that subscription. It won't cost you any extra. But if you don't subscribe to PlayStation Plus and you're a big Tomb Raider fan, you want to play this classic game, you now can, as it is available on PS4 and PS5 to buy. So if you're wondering what this is all about, Tomb Raider Anniversary retraces Lara Croft's original genre-defining adventure, globetrotting third-person action adventure in pursuit of the legendary Sion artifact. So this is basically like a remake of the first PlayStation classic from back in the day, the first Tomb Raider game. So really, really good. Classic PS2 game, available now on PS4 and PS5 for the first time. If you're wondering how much it's going to cost you, it's $19.99. That's in dollars, euros, and pounds. So be sure to go and check this out. Support this classic game if you're into it. And fingers crossed, I say this every podcast we talk about Tomb Raider. Hopefully we hear something soon about the new Tomb Raider game. It feels like Crystal Dynamics have been making this thing for ages. I hope it's good, and I hope it's like going back to Lara Croft of old, absolute badass Lara. So fingers crossed that's what happens. And also we've got the Tomb Raider TV show is in the works right now. I can't remember where that is. Is it at Netflix or Amazon Prime? I can confirm it's Prime Video, and it is the girl from Game of Thrones Sophie Turner, who'll be playing Lara Croft. Interesting one. Hopefully that turns out good. Fingers crossed. Who knows? It's an interesting casting as well. Not sure I really see her as Lara Croft. I might be wrong though. Who knows? Let's see how it pans out. Got to stay positive. I'm all for any video game adaptations moving over onto like TV and movie. I prefer TV because I feel the series you get more time with the story and the characters, like over a season, which is like say maybe 8 or 10 episodes long versus just a 2-hour movie. So fingers crossed this is good. And we'll see how this pans out. No idea when that will happen, but we'll get news on that here on the podcast as soon as we hear anything. If you have been worried about missing out on not buying Mind's Eye, as it did not have the best launch, PlayStation 5 owners have now got access to this new Mind's Eye starter pack. Yes, believe it or not, this is a real thing. It's happening. It's available right now. And it's kind of like a big demo for Mind's Eye. And what do you get with this? So you get access to a whole bunch of stuff. The free starter pack is essentially a free trial version of the game. But according to the PlayStation Store description, it will get new content on a rolling basis. So it's like a demo which is going to be getting updates in order to give players a look at the game's improvements over time. So if you tuned in to last week's podcast, I did actually pick this up on Black Friday as a deal. So I do hope they do keep upgrading this, and by the time I get around to playing it, hopefully it's a good game at that point. I guess this did have a notoriously bad launch, so they're trying hard to turn this around. So for the developers' sake, I hope they do. They're clearly trying to fix this. I find often when these things go really wrong, it's not the actual developers making the game. It's usually senior management of the developers or the publishers or whatever just mandating that they need to hit this date or deadline no matter like what state the game's in, because it's just been so bad recently in the gaming world, seeing all these games launch and they're just an absolute no fit for purpose state at all to be sold, and then they launch it and it's like, oh, we're sorry, we're going to keep updating it and fixing it. And we have had a few really good redemption arcs in the gaming world. Two that jump out to me is No Man's Sky. Like that is what you call a turnaround. And also Cyberpunk. Maybe Mind's Eye can have their own Cyberpunk moment. Fingers crossed, I hope so. Always going for positive vibes here on the podcast. And the stuff in the trailer, I mean, if it's anything like that, it looks good fun. For £10, come on. I mean, that's like 2 coffees nowadays or whatever. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I've picked it up. When I do play it, I will let you know how it runs and how it performs. I will check it out on PS5 Pro. But now you don't even need to buy it. You've got this starter pack, which you can head over to the PlayStation 5 store and download it and check it out right now, as I think that's what they're hoping for, that this starter pack will bring a whole bunch of new players to the game. Does this make you more likely to check it out? Are you going to check this out? Let me know if you're going to download the Mind's Eye starter pack for your PlayStation. And if you do, if you've already done it, let me know what you think of it. Is it as bad as you thought it would be? Or is it okay? Sound off in the comments. If you've been following the fact that AI is kind of going wild right now, you also have probably heard the news that RAM prices, in particular DDR5 RAM, which is in a lot of our devices, like, game consoles, mobile phones, PCs, laptops, you name it, they all use it. However, all these servers and data centers for AI is literally bang it all up and causing the price to go through the roof. That has actually caused the PS5 Pro to be cheaper than DDR5 RAM. Yes. So PlayStation 5 Pro got a discount also on Amazon due to Cyber Monday and Black Friday. I'll leave links down below if you want to pick up a PS5 Pro. They're actually freaking awesome. I would recommend it, especially at this price. This article here on Vice says, when the PS5 Pro launched back in 2024, it retailed for $699. Sony shocked players early in the year when they raised the price of the console to $750 due to a changing economic market. And then they've said it probably entered too expensive territory for a lot of players, which I get. It is a niche product versus the standard PlayStation 5, which is more of the big seller. However, the PlayStation 5 Pro is now on sale for $648 through this deal. And I mean, that's good when you compare it. The Series X, compared to the Series X, now goes for as high as $800. That is wild. So what's this got to do with RAM prices? Well, the craziest part of this story is that 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM is now selling for as much as $650. That is absolutely wild. However, this also means that the PS5 Pro is now cheaper than a single DDR5 RAM component. This is wild. So this is a result of the AI bubble, which could continue to get bigger or eventually pop. Wow. They've got an image here in this news story as well, where it's a Corsair Vengeance 64 gigabytes DDR5. So it's two 32 gigabyte sticks. And the price of it here on Newegg is $755. I would be expecting you'd get a semi-decent, I guess, intro level gaming PC, entry level, you know what I mean, gaming PC, not just 2 sticks of RAM, 64 gigs of RAM. It's absolutely wild. They go on then to ask, should you buy a PS5 Pro now? All this to say things aren't exactly looking good in the gaming space in terms of consumer pricing. So while $648 might seem like a lot for a gaming console, it might be the cheapest you can get a powerful gaming device in the next year or two. If the price bubble continues, we could see gaming get a lot more expensive than it is now, which is a scary thought. Plus, as I said, the PS5 Pro actually holds up really well against most entry-level PCs and is a good platform for most AAA games. Gaming is getting pricey, people. What the heck? Do you own a PS5 Pro? Would this make you more inclined to buy one with the worry that these RAM prices might just keep going up and up and up? Like, if you think back a few years ago, in particular, PC gamers were getting slammed because of the crypto boom and everyone was buying graphics cards to mine Bitcoin, and that calmed down. Now we've got this. It's like, geez, as gamers just not catch a break? And then there's all these tariffs and all this other rubbish going on in the world. You're like, we just want to play our games. Come on. So I can't believe this. I hope this calms down. This is just absolutely wild. I'm glad I've already got my PS5 Pro, even though I paid more for it. I bought this at launch, so I paid £700 for my console. And then I bought the disc drive attachment, because you need a disc drive. You don't want to be digital, people. You want physical games. Come on. For £100 before they reduced it down to, I think it's £60 it is now, or 69. So I spent a lot. I spent nearly 800. Basically £800 on my PlayStation 5 Pro. That is my main PlayStation I use. That's the one I've got hooked up to the TV. So yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's an awesome bit of kit. Well worth checking out if you're in the market for, I guess, the best console you can buy right now. Now let's jump on to our Gaming Coffee Club question of the week. I've also got next week's question already posted. I posted it like the day or so after this, just so we could get loads of comments in it, where I was asking about what you think about the PlayStation 5 console generation. So make sure you go and vote and leave your comments on that one. However, this week, what did we ask? I basically said, is your wallet ready for 2026? Which games are you buying day one? And if you answer, you've got a chance to feature in the podcast. So we put up this image with a whole bunch of these big games which are coming. Tides of Annihilation. We've got Pragmata, Forza Horizon 6, Resident Evil Requiem, the new James Bond game, First Light, Wolverine, GTA 6, Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, and so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch here. And let's see what you all had to say. So we've got Joseph LeBron Rolando said, GTA 6, but I think it might get another delay after 2026. LOL. I actually heard the other day, supposedly some Rockstar insiders were saying that it might be getting delayed again. I don't know if people are just making stuff up, but I hope that doesn't happen because it looks really, really good. We've got Srixus 2580, 007 First Light, Yes, love Hitman, and I've grown up on the Bond films. Oh, I love the Bond films. What's your favourite Bond film? What is my favourite Bond film? I don't know. See, when I was growing up, Pierce Brosnan was my James Bond, so I really like GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies. The World's Not Enough's not bad as well. And then I really like, so I like Daniel Craig's first Bond, Casino Royale. I think that's just such a fantastic movie. It's really good. I'm not so much of a fan of the other ones. I probably need to watch them again. I know everyone didn't like the last one, and I won't spoil part of why they didn't, but I didn't mind it. I can't even remember what it was called though. So yeah, very cool. Win-win. Plus the fact you can throw a gun at the guy after running out of bullets will never get old to me. Well, yeah, I love stuff like that. We've got It's Just Henry Heck. So many, dude. 007 First Light. A lot of love for 007 here. That's cool to see. Tides of Annihilation, Suros, Wolverine, Phantom Blade Zero, many others, I'm sure. Nice lineup of games there. You better have your wallet ready. That's a lot of games there. That's going to be pricey. We've got here Soul Gamer saying Resident Evil Requiem. That does look really good, I must admit, from what I've seen so far. We've got Jimmy J, GTA, and Wolverine. I think that's probably a lot of people's picks, isn't it? They both looked absolutely spectacular. The fact as well, from Rockstar and then from Insomniac, they always deliver the goods. It's just going to be amazing. We've got Gamer Thumbs saying GTA 6, unless, of course, it isn't delayed again. Yep. We've got Greg Wilson saying GTA 6 and Wolverine are top of my list, but both are slated for November, so I'll have to find something to spend dollars on before that. We'll also end up with college football, probably EFC, and who knows what else. Awesome, dude. I love it. But a lot of love for GTA 6 here, no surprises. I mean, I think that would probably be my pick as well. We've got Zapmando, probably Saros, but I'm years behind. Picked up Control Ultimate Edition for $6. What a game. That's a bargain, that, by the way. Having a lot of fun with it, so I don't usually play day one or year. All good. It's probably a smart thing to do. The price of some games nowadays are bonkers. I picked up a whole batch of games on Black Friday, which I mentioned in last week's podcast. If you've not seen that, go check it out. Or go ahead and subscribe to the Gaming Coffee Club YouTube channel, where we put clips up from the best parts of each YouTube episode. It's much more bite-sized stuff instead of big long episodes. However, I bought a whole bunch of games that had been on my wish list for ages for absolute bargain prices. Physical games, you get such great deals from like Amazon and just your local retailers on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, far cheaper than even the sales on the digital store. So that was great. And I'll only pick up a game full price day one if it's something that I'm just like, I need to play this right now. I can't even remember the last game I did that with. I think on PlayStation, I've not done that for a little while. I think the last game I bought on launch day, full price, was Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's the one. And then Mario Kart World as well, kind of, because that came bundled with my Switch too. So yeah, I agree with you, buddy. It's a smart thing to do. Prices of everything is going up through the roof these days, so you've got to be economical and smart with your gaming. And then we've got Resident Evil 9 from Dan's YouTube Shorts. Just hope it's buy and stream friendly on PlayStation Portal, or I have to skip it, sadly. So Dan must be playing his games via the cloud on the portal. So fingers crossed, Resident Evil 9. Surely it will. It's a big game. Can you play Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake and like Village and 8? Are they all available to stream from the cloud? That'll give us a good indication if RE9 will go that way. And then we've got the Desolate one. GTA 6 will be all anyone needs. Rockstar Dev. Is the Desolate one saying they're a Rockstar Dev? Interesting. They go on though, but for me, I wouldn't mind getting into a little Forza 6. Desolate one, I totally agree with your statement. Yeah, I think GT6 is going to be the one to beat. It's just going to be phenomenal. I actually think when that drops, I may dive online and do a little bit of streaming the game the day it launches, or if I get early access or whatever. I totally agree though with Forza 6. I can't believe no one else has said Forza Horizon 6. I guess maybe that's because, we're PlayStation focused here on Pure PSX, and I know on the podcast we do a sprinkle of other gaming news where it's kind of relevant, like Xbox and Switch 2 or PC, Steam Machine type stuff, just when it's big news. So I think if this was, Xbox players voting and answering on this, they would probably say Forza Horizon 6, because the Forza series is just synonymous with Xbox and it's massive. And Forza Horizon 5, amazing game. 4 is unbelievable as well. Set in the UK. Check out 4. You can drive around Scotland, my home country. It's freaking awesome. You can cruise around Edinburgh and stuff like that, which is just amazing. It's beautiful. And then my first Forza Horizon game I got was actually Forza Horizon 3, and I think it might be my favourite. Set in Australia. It has unfortunately been delisted. However, if you do own it digitally or physically, you can still play the game. So lots of amazing answers there. Thank you to everyone for taking part, and make sure you all go and comment on next week's question, which is already up. I'll just show you all so you can see it right now in case you're watching this. So it is not that one. Oh, it's this one. So it's here. PS5 is now 5 years young. How do you rate Sony's PS5 console? And we've got 1,700 votes and 31 comments. So if you want to be featured in next week's podcast, make sure you go and get involved and vote in this and leave a comment. And while I'm here as well, I may as well just plug this. Go and check out the Gaming Coffee Club YouTube channel. I'll link that down below in the description as well. Over there, you'll just find all the best clips from all these podcasts and nice bite-sized features for you to watch when you don't have time to sit and listen to a long podcast. December's PlayStation Plus Essential monthly games have been announced, and it's an interesting bunch to round off the year. I feel like this lineup would have been better suited for Halloween than Christmas time. However, I would say the big game, and the one I'm most excited to play, is Lego Horizon Adventures. And for once, I actually beat the PS Plus curse. If you're wondering what that is, usually I will see a game when I'm out shopping, doing the food shop, and I'll have a look at the gaming section and I'll go, oh, there's a game there on offer. I'll buy that. I'll take that. And then literally the next month it is announced in PS Plus. I had Lego Horizon Adventures in my basket, in my trolley, doing my shop 2 weeks ago. And then I thought, maybe, will I take this, will I not? And then I actually saw there was a new magazine of Retro Gamer available to buy, which they don't often have in the shop. So I thought, I'm going to take that. I love a good physical magazine to sit and read. Picked that up instead, put Lego Horizon Adventures down, and what do you know? It's in PS Plus. So if you love the Horizon games and Lego, who doesn't love Lego? This is a great family fun game. You can do local co-op as well. I would definitely recommend you check this one out. Really, just really charming as well. I don't know what else to say. It. Surely you've played some of the Lego games, and they're always, that's the best word for it, mega charming and funny. So this looks really, really good. I'm excited to check this one out. Doing maybe a little bit of couch co-op or just single player, and you can actually do online. I didn't realize there was online multiplayer as well. Now, this is why I said it might be better for Halloween. A lot of these games are kind of like horror games. And the next game is Killing Floor 3, the evolution of the first-person action horror franchise. Killing Floor 3 resurrects the gut-churning combat this series is famed for, pitting up to 6 co-op players against waves of enemies against a variety of maps. Now, I played the first one of this way back in the day on PC, and I thought it was kind of meh. However, I was only playing, I was playing on my own. I was playing with randoms that I didn't know. I think this game will shine and actually be really good fun if you're playing co-op with your friends, because I love Call of Duty Zombies. It's great fun playing with your buddies, just chaos. This just looks like that, but a lot more gory and a little bit more scary. So I'm pretty hyped for this. The gameplay in the trailer we're watching on screen looks fantastic fun. The visuals look great. And what's unusual also here is up to 6-player co-op. That's pretty cool. Usually these games are usually 3 or 4 players, so 6 players, that looks freaking cool. And I think I'm going to jump into this one and give it a go. Maybe see if some of my buddies want to jump in and check it out when the game drops. All of these games will be available on December the 2nd until January the 5th. So make sure you claim them, add them to your library, and they're available to play as long as you're a PS Plus subscriber. You'll have them forever. It is really, really cool, and you'll probably be able to play these streaming from the cloud on your portal also. So I'll definitely be checking out Killing Floor 3. However, I will not be checking out this next game. And that game is the Outlast Trials. Yes. This just, I think, will be pretty terrifying. So, first-person psychological survival horror game that can be played solo or with up to 3 other players online. You have been abducted by the Murkoff Corporation and trapped inside their facility. Your goal, earn the right to be released back into society. In order to do so, you must complete trials and MK challenges in pure Outlast fashion. The core gameplay involves avoiding enemies, hiding from them, and trying to run away. Like, the reason I will not be playing this, I don't like horror games, as you probably all know if you watch this regularly or you've watched any of the videos. I'm not a big fan of them. I can appreciate, and I do like, you know, like Resident Evil and stuff like that. I can handle them, but some of the games I'm just like, no, it's not my bag. And I played the first Outlast game, and I remember one of the parts, there's like some dude in a wheelchair in this really scary, claustrophobic, dark hallway, and going to walk by it, and it moved, and I absolutely crapped myself and kicked my beer all over the living room. It was sitting on the floor, and my foot just jumped, and I kicked it. So I'm like, I'm out of this. I'm not playing this. This isn't fun. So yeah, I've avoided the Outlast games ever since then. I remember watching a streamer play Outlast 2, and I was like, this looks horrific. So yeah, if you're into your horror games, this one might be right up your street. And if you've got a bunch of buddies that are into your horror games, 3 of you's playing this, this might be your ideal multiplayer gaming scenario. For me, it's a big no thanks. I don't want to be running away from all these scary ass people and creatures and whatever. No thanks. I mean, look at this. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm out. Let's get on to the next game and see if it's a little bit less scary. Or maybe it isn't. Next up is Sin Duality Echo of Ada. And I had honestly never heard of this game. When I watched the trailers and the footage and read up and did research for writing about this on my blog, go check out my blog over on medium.com/Murray. Links down below in the description. I tell you all my thoughts about these games. I actually thought this game looked pretty freaking awesome. And I'll tell you why. There's big giant mechs in it, and you get to fight in these mechs. Who doesn't love stuff like that? I was getting kind of Titanfall-esque vibes. Now, hear me out. This is no Titanfall by any stretch of the imagination. It was just giving me that vibe, seeing the mechs with the big machine guns going at each other. Very, very cool. So this does look like it's basically a kind of extraction type shooter. Now, if that's your bag, online extraction shooter, this looks like one to jump into. And I love big mechs, so I'm definitely going to jump into this one and check this out also. Now, Neon White is a very unique game. I was wondering, how do I describe this? And it basically looks like a card game FPS. And that is a combo I thought I would never see or say. It does look interesting though. Looks really stylish, fast, and a very, very unique game, where you play as an assassin pulled from hell to compete in a demon slaying contest in heaven. You know, as you do. Levels are designed around speedrunning, creative shortcuts, and clever use of soul cards, which act as both weapons and movement abilities. This one looks really, really funky. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I'll like this or play a lot of it, but I want to jump in and check this out because it looks like such a unique game. Just so that I can kind of talk about this or refer to it, because a card game FPS FPS game? What? Yeah, this is definitely going to get a quick blast on my PlayStation Portal for sure. What do you make of this month's PlayStation Plus Essential games? Are you happy with them? Are they good? Or are they garbage? And which one will you be playing first? Let me know. For me, it's definitely the Lego Horizon Adventures, which jumps out to me. And then I would say Killing Floor 3, and then Sinduality Echo of Ada looks pretty wild also. So yeah, 3 games there that I'm happy to check out. The rest I'm a bit meh on. Although the card FPS type game, Neon White does just look so wacky, I need to give that one a go also. For our next story, we're over at My Nintendo News, and this applies to PlayStation and Xbox and PC. And it's Konami saying that bringing back Metal Gear Solid 4 would be a real challenge. So a lot of people were saying they'd like to have Metal Gear Solid 4 on current day consoles because it's unfortunately kind of locked on, PS3. And we've got this quote here from the series producer Noraki Okamura, who has spoken to a Japanese publication called Real Sound about the beloved video game series and how easy it would be to bring Metal Gear Solid 4 to current consoles. Okamura says that Metal Gear Solid 4 is a complex issue due to the PlayStation 3 hardware and the code that the game was built on. He even went as far to say that bringing Metal Gear Solid 4 to current platforms would be a real challenge. That sucks. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 4? Would you like to see this appear on modern day systems? I would. That would be cool. He went on to say the hardware at that time required some very unusual designs to get 3D performance out of the technology available, and Metal Gear Solid 4's code ended up being quite unconventional as well. Bringing it over today seems like it would be a real challenge, he said. We hear a lot about this. We did touch on a story in last week's podcast around the company which is basically building an emulator for PS3 games. If Sony okays that or purchases that from them, surely Metal Gear Solid 4 would be a goer. That would be a great one to see appear on PS5. And there's a whole bunch of awesome games. I said I'd love to just see something random like the MotorStorm games. But let me know, what do you think about this? Would you like to see Metal Gear Solid 4 appear on PS5? And, or would you rather some other PS3 game? Do we think we'll ever see PS3 games on PS Plus? I'm not going to hold my breath on this, actually. It just seems like everybody says it is a nightmare. So will it be worth that nightmare to do this? Would it bring a lot more revenue in? Does it make business sense to do this? I would like to see it happen. I would just love, for example, if PS6 was somehow backwards compatible with every PlayStation generation. I mean, that would be just freaking amazing. For today, though, best bet is probably emulation on PC for playing these older games, or even better, just the original hardware. I've got my PS3 sitting there. Get Metal Gear Solid 4 and just fire it in there. PS3 is still an amazing console today. I would recommend picking one up if you can, in particular the slim model, so you have less chance of getting the yellow light of death, which I got on my fat model, which was so annoying. I think I was playing Call of Duty. Was it World at War I was playing a lot of at that time? And it just basically melted the PlayStation, which was annoying. I got the yellow light of death, had to get rid of it and get the slim model, which is still working perfectly to this day. So yeah, pick up the original hardware and check out Metal Gear Solid 4. It's probably your best bet right now. Now, over on Games Radar, they have got this really interesting article where Rockstar co-founder and former GTA lead writer Dan Houser says AI is eventually going to eat itself. Let's dive in. This is a great piece and I actually agree. He's went on and said here, some of these people trying to define the future of humanity, creativity, or whatever it is using AI are not the most humane or creative people, he told Virgin Radio. They're saying we're better at being human than you, and it's obviously not true. That's one of the other things, is that humanity is being pulled in a certain direction by a group of people who maybe aren't fully rounded humans. He goes on to state he believes AI is eventually going to eat itself, with the bots and tools eventually drawing from work generated by other bots and tools, creating a feedback loop of slop. Sounds like we're not far from that already, to be honest. As far as I understand it, which is really a superficial understanding, these models scour the internet for information, but the internet is going to get more and more full of information made by the models. He adds, so it's sort of like when we feed cows with cows and got mad cow disease, they're already running out of data. And then the article explains here what he's referring to is known as the dead internet theory, in which the World Wide Web is populated mostly by AI generated posts, and the likes of ChatGPT and Google's Gemini are just pulling information from each other's posts. It's a cycle that hollows out part of the internet and makes these interfaces functionally useless. Hauser does believe these algorithms will do some tasks brilliantly, but not everything. That's a view shared by fellow video game stalwart Hideo Kojima, who believes this tech could help on mundane jobs, but nothing in depth. Very, very interesting there, because we're seeing so much chat in the gaming industry about AI slop in games, or just AI slop games that are available on like the Sony PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, the Switch online store, Steam, you name it. So it's interesting to see someone like Dan Hauser, who was involved with Rockstar, his take on this. And I agree, I think he's actually spot on. We need to be careful with this, and I really hope we don't lose that human touch and creativity for making amazing games. I just worry that some companies are going to be just so hell-bent on, shareholder returns. I think Microsoft and Xbox are unfortunately going down that route with all of their recent decisions, that if they could get AI to completely make their games for them without people being involved and sell it for $80, they would. So I really hope that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed. And if AI is involved in the creation of video games, does it bother you? Like, would that put you off buying a game? I saw, we discussed actually on a couple of podcast episodes ago that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was getting roasted for a whole bunch of like the calling cards and stuff like that in the game being AI generated versus actually paying an artist to make them. A lot of them look pretty rubbish as well, which didn't help the situation. We've had various games where we've heard that they're not using voice actors, they are using AI generated voices. And then I guess the next step, it will be like the visuals and stuff will be AI generated as well. What's your take on this? Do you think this is a bad thing for the gaming industry? Is it inevitable? Could we see this stopped? I do think humans are going to get sick of AI and fed up with it. I mean, I already see so many people just saying like AI slop that they see on social media and stuff. I personally wish that, well, even like YouTube would have like a toggle where you could switch it on and it just would not show you AI generated content. I hate when you click on it and you just hear that AI voice and it's just, stock footage or footage ripped from a whole bunch of other AI creators, a whole bunch of other YouTube creators, chopped together with an AI voiceover, and then they just throw it up there and it's got all these views and the algorithm seems to be pushing it. You're like, why? What is going on here? So it's a very weird situation we're in just now, and the AI bubble just seems to be getting bigger. How's this going to end? I don't know. And that does it for episode number 8 of the Gaming Coffee Club podcast. Make sure you go and check out the Gaming Coffee Club on YouTube for all your bite-sized gaming news for when you're in a rush, so you can keep up to date with everything that's happening in the gaming world. Head on over to purepsx.com and get yourself this beautiful midnight edition Gaming Coffee Club mug so you're ready for the next podcast. Remember, it's at this introductory price, which will go up on the 8th of December, so grab it before the 8th of December. And I really look forward to talking to you next week about everything going on in our crazy, beautiful gaming world. Thank you for watching. Leave us a thumbs up on YouTube and leave us a rating on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're watching or listening to this. And I'll see you next week.